Hi, this is Professor David Farina. In today's video, we're going to be talking about Jovian moons, rings, and Plutoids, specifically the moons of Uranus and Neptune. Let's get started. So let's start with the moons of Uranus. There are 5 large moons visible from Earth, and 10 more were discovered by Voyager 2. Still more are being found all the time. Most of them are very, very tiny. Most of these surfaces are very dark, and that indicates, remember, that they are old. So when we're looking at our moons of the solar system, the more dark and more cratered they are, the older they are. The more light and less cratered they are, the younger those surfaces are. And that indicates what's going on geologically within the moons themselves. Now, let's look at the moons by name here. We've got Titania, Umbriel, Miranda, Ariel, and Oberon. And here they are again with a scale compared to the Earth's moon. You'll notice the Earth's moon is significantly larger than all of these moons. All of the moons of Uranus are rocky cores with icy shells over top of them. And let's look at them one by one. Here's Oberon. It's old, it's inactive, and it's a cratered surface, but probably had some sort of very active past. Long faults along its surface indicate this, and it appears that the ice here, this dirty water, must have flowed along the surface, flooding some of the crater floors. As the impacts produce heat, the craters are able to liquefy momentarily, and then they refreeze due to the very cold temperatures at this distance from the sun. Next up is Titania. It's the largest of the moons. It's heavily cratered. Once again, no recent activity on the surface. Huge cracks and craters on the surface of this thing, indicating a lot of potential former activity, but nothing to this day. May have had an active phase with internal melting at some point, and once again, these flooded craters due to impacts causing heat. Here's Ariel. It has the brightest of the surfaces of these large moons, which indicates that it's a younger surface. It has clear signs of geologic activity, and it's crossed by over 10-kilometer deep faults. Look at those huge 10-kilometer deep faults across the surface. And it's possible that this moon is heated by the tidal interaction with the other moon, Miranda, which is another moon of Uranus. Here's Umbriel. You'll see it has a dark cratered surface, no faults or other signs of geologic activity whatsoever. Some very big craters once again. Now here's Miranda. Miranda also has a lot of geologic activity on its surface, and these things, called ovoids, or oval grooved shaped patterns, once again look a lot like the glacial activity of the planet Earth. So this indicates motion, it indicates activity, and once again this is probably due to tidal interactions. Now we're on to Neptune. Neptune's moon Triton is in a retrograde orbit. That means that Triton is moving backward compared to other objects in the solar system. It indicates that it has a very smooth and very bright surface with lack of craters, indicating it's a very relatively new surface. It has nitrogen geysers that are blasting material out of the surface and contributing to the geologic activity of Triton. So here are some of the medium-sized Jovian moons to give you a perspective here where these fall. So take a moment and pause the video and look over this chart. Now that you've paused the video, you'll notice that many of these moons of the medium-sized are around the planet Saturn and around the planet Uranus, with one of these medium-sized moons around Neptune. Once again, here are some pictures of these medium-sized moons compared to Earth's moon. You can see this one has Iapetus has this really distinct ridge around the entire thing, kind of interesting. Mimas, it kind of looks like a Death Star with a huge crater in it right here. Here are some more moons of Uranus and Neptune. Once again, another image of Miranda with its very active surface. And here is that tidal interaction between Triton and Nereid. So you can see around Neptune, we've got the retrograde orbit of the one. And we've got the other, Nereid, going around in a much bigger orbit. Very unusual orbits here. Triton is the only satellite in the solar system orbiting clockwise or backward. Nereid has a very highly eccentric orbit. And once again, remember, these are possibly captured asteroids, and so it should not be surprising that they have very weird orbits compared to other things in the solar system. Surface of Triton, a very low temperature, 34.5 Kelvin. Can hold on to a tenuous atmosphere. What that means is it's basically a very thin atmosphere. It's made mostly of nitrogen, some methane. It's very, very, very dense. Low density. 10 to the 5th times less dense than Earth's atmosphere. That is a very, very thin atmosphere. Its surface is composed of a mixture of ices, some of them nitrogen, some of them methane, some of them carbon monoxide, and some of them carbon dioxide, similar to the dry ice that we used in lab. There could be some sort of cyclic nitrogen cycle going on here where we have nitrogen deposition, which is the opposite of sublimation when it's put back up into the atmosphere. And it's very similar to the way that the ice cap of Mars, which is made of carbon dioxide ice, would work as well. So the dark smudges on this picture are those geysers, and they have carbon-rich deposits that are, once they're exposed to sunlight, that are formed. Some other zoomed-in pictures here of the surface of Triton. Has ongoing surface activity, maybe 100 million years old at best. That's actually pretty young in terms of geologic activity. Here's one of those flooded basins. And it has an icy version of the greenhouse effect that keeps it slightly warmer than it would otherwise be. So thanks for watching today's video on Jovian moons, rings, and Plutoids, specifically the moons of Uranus and Neptune. Thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, please click that like button. If you'd like to learn more, please click subscribe. And if you'd like to get a notification each time I make a video, click that little bell at the bottom. Thanks again and have a great rest of your day.